Gaius the Gleeful, new fragment champion, why it's probably in your best interest to skip, or he's just going to head straight to the vault if you are a collector. Let's talk about him. What up guys, it's your boy MurderInc here, back again with another Raid Shadow Legends video, talking about the new fragment champion here. We have a Knight Revenant, Magic, Legendary, Gaius the Gleeful. Looks pretty cool. Have a few issues with this kit. Now, if you're an endgame player, you're probably going to want to get your hands on this guy because one is going to have a high gear requirement to be able to kind of do anything, and honestly, you're just collecting every champion anyway, so if there is potential, you will find it pretty quickly. But what I want to explain for the majority of players is this champion. I just made a video talking about bomb champions, how good they could be, but they have a few flaws in their kits. There's a few flaws with the bomb debuff itself. Now let's talk about a few things. Accuracy and attack scaling that you need for bombs, meaning accuracy stacking to actually debuff the target. It's hard to do that for most players, to stack enough accuracy to debuff them. Then you have the whole 3% deal, weak affinity hits, making the champion kind of useless overall, especially since he has to attack the enemies, as we can see from his A2 here, to actually place those bombs. So in case you're not familiar with the kit, I'll go through it really quickly. We have an A1 that grants an extra turn if you kill an enemy, which is fine, although extra turn on this champion is pretty good, but it's in the wrong skill. Like I said, I went over this in the previous video. This should have been on the A2. Moving on to the A2, it's an AoE. Baseline is 75% chance of placing a sleep, 75% chance of placing 2 bombs on the target, and they detonate after 2 turns. So you're going to need books to really get any value out of this guy, and as we all know, legendary books, they're not in high inventory right now for pretty much anybody. So this is something baseline that you would need to do simply to use this champion, and I really don't like champions that require books to get decent value out of, or any value out of for that matter. So we have a 4-turn cooldown there, probably goes to 3 with books. Next we have explosive with this A3, attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit instantly detonates all bombs. The second hit will ignore all unkillable buffs on the target. So this would have to hit really hard, in my opinion at least. What I'm getting at is, if you cannot stack enough attack, if your accuracy is kind of lackluster, yes, the idea is to be able to counter Swift Parry and Stone Skin all in one champion. It's already hard to do because you need 2 turns to work with here. So besides that fact, the second hit from Explosive Wit has to hit hard enough, and your bombs have to do enough damage to get Swift Parry to proc, and then just blow right through that Swift Parry set. So I would have liked it if they introduced the bombs ignoring unkillable on its own, instead of just the second hit of this attack being the thing that does in fact ignore unkillable. I think it could be pretty annoying if champions like Gaius have passives where they, once they are low health, they do get a shield, and then it might be a little bit harder for something like Explosive Wit to really take advantage of ignoring any unkillables here. We do have a nice passive. It reminds me of Soul Drinker. When attacked, has a 30% chance of placing a bomb on the attacker, then detonates after 2 turns, occurs once per hit, instantly detonates all bombs on all enemies whenever this champion is killed, which is nice, but once again, I have kind of mixed feelings on building a champion based on them dying, bringing some of their full potential here. This should be like a last resort thing, and I guess you can view this as a last resort thing, but it takes a lot of setup to be able to really get value out of being able to instantly detonate all of those bombs in the first place. So that's why I'm kind of leaning on this guy probably isn't worth it if you have to go out of your way to get resources for him. Could he be buffed? Probably not. His kit isn't that bad. Like I said before, the problem is with the bomb debuff in general and how it's just not implemented in the right way, in my opinion at least, and I'm sure some people feel the same way in this game here. We do have ally attack in all battles by 25%, which is respectable for sure. Now some people go purely off of the aesthetics. He looks really cool. If that's your thing, he's definitely worth going after if you do like the way champions look here, but as far as how powerful he is, he's just not cutting it. I can't see a viable option for the majority of the player base on where they're going to use this guy without any books, because you have to consider a champion without books in this game to see if they shine. Some of the most popular champions in the entire game are really good without any books in them. As soon as you start adding book requirements to fragment champions, fusion champions, whatever champions you want, it then adds extra investment, and they have to be worth that investment. Do I think this guy is worth it to invest in him to make sure his kit's properly working? No, that's pretty much the point of this video here. And like I said, if you're endgame, you can find tons of ways with overpowered gear to make this guy work, but that's not going to be the case for most people. So I think this is kind of an easy skip for the majority, or just let him collect dust or wait for a clan versus clan. It's kind of weird that we've gotten to a stage where no champion's really bad, because you can always go for the champion, wait for some clan versus clan, and use it to get yourself additional points. I see what they did there. It's definitely smart marketing, because as long as they don't take that as a point to be able to release lower quality fragment fusions and fusions overall, I don't think they're doing that. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know about the past fusions, which ones have stuck out, which ones haven't really stuck out. Do you think they are filler champions? I think it's the most important thing in this entire game, that filler champions, they can be released into the game. We've seen them before. I don't think they're going away, but they should not be fragment fusions. They should not be traditional fusion champions. That should be the exception, where you should never see any type of filler champion. They should always have a strong role in some aspect of the game, whether it's early game, mid game, end game, Hydra, Doom Tower, whatever you want to call it. They should be really strong in at least one area, making it worth it and make players feel good about going after these champions, because I think this guy really misses the mark as far as what would be considered a good champion for most players to use here. Now, I don't really want to speculate too much on what they could have changed, because a lot of the changes they could have done go back to that video I made about bomb champions in general a couple days ago, and really all they had to do is make the extra turn on Jester's Remedy, and he would have been a fantastic champion. Also, it would have been nice to have a 100% chance of placing a bomb and keep the 75% chance of placing the sleep on there. That way, the books only increase the sleep chance. People will be more likely to go after this champion with a 100% chance of placing those bombs. Then you get the extra turn where you can instantly detonate it with explosive wit right after Jester's Remedy. I think this would have been a fantastic way to release this champion, and it's funny because they tease the extra turn, right? We have Chuckling Sickles here on the A1, grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. So things could have gone so well. I guess you can say relentless gear, but good luck getting the accuracy you need, the attack you need, with base stats and multipliers that haven't been publicly released yet, and then use the A1, get another extra turn, so you can use that A2, A3 combo in succession with each other. But it's just too much work, too much gear required, and like I said, it's been the overall idea of this video and of the past video. Bombs just aren't strong enough. They've tried once with Bommel, they've tried twice with Hydra. They are really missing the mark, and they really need to get the point across to them that they have to do something with bombs. They either get rid of the attack scaling and just give it a flat damage, whatever it does, or make it scale off of accuracy. In my opinion, at least, accuracy scaling is going to be the smartest thing for bomb champions, and if they cannot be resisted, then give them a flat amount of damage that the bombs can in fact do. So give me your thoughts. Are you still going to go for this champion? Is it going to be vaulted? What do you think? Do you agree that the changes that I recommended for the A2 and A3 would make them a viable champion? Do you see something that I don't see with this champion, where he's going to be fantastic somewhere outside of arena? Because like I said, maybe if you briefly skim this, he looks good in the arena, but if you don't have insane gear and 3 insane champions, like high quality tier champions here, void legendaries supporting this guy, he's not going to work in your favor. I know the idea, or at least from the company at least, is to counter Stone Skin, swift parry. They make it sound much better than it really is in reality here. Even though we haven't tested the champion, it's easy to read the kits nowadays because things are very straightforward. So that's my thought. Those are my opinions on this. Let me know what you guys think, because your guys' feedback really matters the most here. So don't forget, if you enjoy this content, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.